Guess what finally came out today? That's right. IEM Cologne Major 2026 pickems just came out. So we're going to be doing this shit, right? We got this in the bag, right? They got the new stickers. They got no capsules. Fuck that shit. You make your own souvenirs. They could do anything. Okay? And so we're going to predict stage 1 right now. And like, obviously, the simulation is just rigged because I think as we saw from Budapest, like, you try to predict anything and then it just wasn't working. It just wasn't working. You couldn't predict anything because everyone is just so fucking inconsistent. So I've come up with a new plan, okay? This is my personal headcanon, and I think this is why I'm going to do my pickems as such. We are going to predict what will happen from our pickems, basically. We are going to predict every matchup, what's going to happen, all the factors that could play into the performances of each team, and, you know, we could formulate this pickem together. Okay? So let's get started. All right, we have our 16 teams. We have some decent, we have some shit. We have a lot to process right here. So let's get started, okay? So Gamer Legion versus NRG, right? I think a lot of people on paper will say Gamer Legion, and they have been looking really good. Like, it is kind of uncontestable that it is hard to say that Gamer Legion have been doing shit lately. They've been actually doing really solid. NRG, on the other hand, have not looked really good ever since they brought on Grim onto that team. Of course, NRG did win Frag at the start of the year, but that was with George. That was not with Grim. They've downgraded since then, and you'd think that Grim would be an upgrade, but I don't think this one should honestly be with Gamer Legion. Will NRG find their footing? I don't necessarily think so. I think the only way that NRG win this is if Gamer Legion just start off shit. But I don't think they will. I think NRG are going to try, but they're going to play like shit, and Gamer Legion are going to come off strong, and so that's why they are going to win the first matchup very easily. All right? Bait and Tyloo. Obviously, you can see I'm wearing a Tyloo jersey. I would be biased to say that Tyloo win this, but even I know I don't think they're going to be winning this one. Bait have been looking really solid. It is kind of hard to say that Tyloo would be able to pop off. The only way that I could see Bait losing this is if they pick into Inferno. If Tyloo mind control Bait into picking Inferno, which I don't believe is in their map pool, Tyloo win this straight up. That is just the truth. Tyloo are Inferno merchants. And so, you know, that's the only way they're going to be able to win this, like, comfortably, I would say. Otherwise, it's like a 50-50. My GOAT G has just not been playing well, but, you know, that is why they need to come back on it. That is why, you know, I see that they could have a resurgence potentially with this, but it's going to be hard against the likes of Bait, so I'm going to honestly say that Bait are probably go down to Tyloo. If Tyloo win this, it's because they got Inferno. That's all I'm saying. Heroic versus Sharks. I'm just going to say Heroic, okay? Sharks is probably one of the lowest rated teams in this tournament. And you could say that they did place decently within the Americas VRS, but they've been farming only other like Brazilian teams. They've barely played any other American events whatsoever. They've just been farming in region. And so when you actually have to play against real opponents, I don't think that they could scale up. They might get a few upsets potentially, but I think right now, I don't see them being the likes of Heroic. Heroic should be on paper a better team, okay? We cannot be losing this not off paper, okay? Not off script. This should be obvious. This should be a Heroic game, okay? Just like, it should just be for Heroic, okay? If they fuck this up, they don't deserve it. They do not deserve stage 2. That's all I'm saying. If Heroic fuck up, they do not deserve stage 2. So we're going to see through the rest of this, you know, how this will play out. Bet Boom, Gaiman Gladiators. Gaiman Gladiators barely made it in, okay? Gaiman Gladiators barely made it in. Bet Boom have fought pretty well. I mean, they just beat Vitality. Do they have the chance to be upset? I think so, because it's fucking a Boomage team always somehow gets upset at a major. But I think that this should be a cakewalk, basically. If they lose this, they also do not deserve stage 2, okay? Big Liquid. Okay, now honestly, a lot of people will probably rank Big over Liquid. I would not blame you. And I think on paper, they should be winning this too. Like, okay, just like straight up, very comfortably, they should be winning this. All right? But I think Liquid do have a solid chance of actually upsetting them, right? Even as much as I think that Liquid have been playing like bums this whole season, I think that they actually do have a solid chance of beating Big, because it is a best of one after all. So, fuck all happens, essentially. That being said, though, I'm going to predict that for some fucking reason, Liquid are going to lock in and beat Big on the opening match, right? Just out of some sheer bullshit, basically. They're just going to win it by some sheer bullshit, somehow. M80 versus Linvision, all right? I love M80, okay? I love them. I want them to do well, and you know what? I think they could have the chance to maybe make playoffs. As much as I sound delusional, I think they have a chance to make playoffs, okay? That being said, though, I think they're going to have a rough start. Linvision, maybe not the most promising showing at CAC and also for the VRS coming into the major beforehand, but I'm going to say Linvision actually take this. We're just going to say that somehow Linvision just locked the fuck in and they win this matchup. That's just my thoughts. MIBR versus TDU. TDU, you've just been farming Australian teams. You're not beating MIBR. As much as I dogged on MIBR this entire season, I think TDU should not be winning this whatsoever. If MIBR lose this, they also do not deserve stage 2. That's all I'm saying. Sinners versus FlyQuest. Honestly, this one could be a 50-50 because it is kind of debatable whether or not Sinners will be able to scale. But honestly, FlyQuest have also been playing like dog shit as well. So I'm going to say that Sinners take this one too. All right, this brings us to round 2. Gamer Legion versus Linvision. We're going to say that Gamer Legion take this, right? I think my headcanon, I think they're going to be taking this 3-0, unless there is something else that shows up in the list. But I think they should be taking this 3-0, honestly. For some reason, I feel like they're probably the most consistent team in here. And if I'm wrong, they just were not consistent enough. But they have been showing signs of being consistent, so I think that they would be taking this. And I think Linvision will still put up a decent fight, but unfortunately, it just will not be enough. Bait versus Liquid. We're just going to give this to Bait. Okay, straight up, it's going to be Bait. Heroic versus Sinners. You know what? Honestly, I'm going to say that Sinners is going to be that random upset team that will make it into 2-0. This always happens with every single major, that there is a random upset team that makes it into 2-0, right? And in this case, I think it will be Sinners. I think they will upset Heroic, and it will kind of be like that was kind of a bit surprising, right? So I think they're going to make it 2-0, and this is going to set them up for a best of 3. And whether or not they actually go 2-0 to 2-3, not too sure. We'll see. They might be that team, though. So we'll kind of go and see. BetBoom versus MIBR. This one is a pretty close one as well. I think tactically, people will say BetBoom win this. But I honestly think that MIBR, with their firepower, is going to win this. I think Clem is a bum, honestly. I think Clem is a bum. But he has been playing well. He has been playing well, I guess, in tier 1, quote unquote. And Insane, I think he's still fragging. Everyone else on MIBR is kind of doing well. I think Linus has put together a decent team. So honestly, I'm going to say that MIBR are going to be taking this they're going to be taking and going into 2-0 into the next series. In the lower bracket, Big versus FlyQuest. We're going to say Big. We're just going to say Big, okay? I don't think that FlyQuest should be beating Big. If Big are going to have a rough game against Liquid, it's going to be like a close one, then Big are going to bounce back. I think that they're going to end 1-1 after day 1, basically. M80 versus TDU, we're going to say M80. Unless M80 fuck up hard against TDU. God forbid that happens, okay? God forbid that they fuck up. Please don't fuck up, okay? It's just, you should not be fucking up against TDU. Thunder Down Under. I mean, nice stickers, I will say, but we should not be fucking up against them because it's fucking... We shouldn't. They're fucking Australian merchants, okay? They are Australian merchants. We should not be losing to those guys, okay? Okay, I just kind of realized that I had the wrong format, so now it's going to look stretched. Just hope you'd bear with it. NRG versus Gaiman Gladiators. If you do not beat fucking Gaiman Gladiators, NRG, retire, okay? Just straight up retire. You do not deserve it. You do not deserve to make the major if you lose to fucking Gaiman Gladiators, okay? So, just no, we're not losing that fucking shit, okay? That should be the freest fucking game. That's the only reason why you're not going to go 0-3. Because it's fucking Gaiman Gladiators, okay? And then Tyloo versus Sharks. Gee, if you do not drop a 20 bomb and win against Sharks, I don't know what to say. Okay? Please, 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 please don't lose against Sharks. Like, this fucking team, like, who is on Sharks exactly? Let's take a look. Let's take a look right now. Okay, Sharks. Gafolo, Koala, Maxcore, Ronzao, Doc. You guys recognize any of these names? Not to say that, like, not to completely disprove them, but, like, come on. The likes against fucking Tyloo, we should not be losing that shit. You have fucking Jam Young on the team. We should not be losing to fucking Sharks, okay? Just no. That should not be the case whatsoever. All right? Round 3. All right? This is day 2. People are going to be mentally refreshed, okay? And people are going to have a different mentality about this, okay? Round 3, Gamer Legion versus Sinners. I'm going to say Gamer Legion all the way. I think that they're going to be the ones to take this, right? Like I said, Gamer Legion, for some reason, they feel like the most consistent to me. So I think even if Sinners, as impressive as it was, making it into the 2-0, I think Gamer Legion are going to take this one, right? Bait versus MIBR. Now, it could be debatable as to this one because I think that the strengths are both there. I think that Bait will probably be a little bit more consistent enough to outweigh the firepower of MIBR though, and so for that reason we are going to say that Bait are also going to go in 3-0. Now, Liquid versus M80. I mean, honestly, this could go a really close series. I think by some bullshit though, even though I want M80 to win, I think that Liquid will fucking win this shit. Okay, I think that somehow Liquid are just going to fucking win that shit. Lin Vision versus Big, right? This one, I think on paper, I feel like Big's tacticality will be able to outweigh the counterplays of Lin Vision potentially, right? I think there's a chance that Lin Vision still win this, but I think Big on paper should be much more consistent on this. And Heroic versus Tyloo, I see it now. It's going to be a 0 masterclass. Okay, it's going to be a 0 masterclass, and sure, that's like some of the bias playing into me, but I think that Tyloo is just going, this shit is going to be on Overpass or something, right? This shit is going to be on Overpass, and Tyloo is going to have a fucking, like, 0 is going to pop the fuck off, okay? He's going to go crazy, right? That's all I'm saying. That's my opinion. That is my honest to God opinion about Tyloo. Bet Boom versus NRG, we're going to say Bet Boom. Like, we should not be losing to NRG at this rate. If NRG win this, I'd be very impressed. But I'm going to say Bet Boom should be winning this. And then with the 0-2 as well, let's start at the bottom one. FlyQuest versus Sharks. FlyQuest probably. I think FlyQuest also could lose this very reasonably. But on paper, they should be winning this. There's a chance that they win this. I don't. Oh my God. Do we fucking say it? Oh my God. Oh, I'm really torn. I'm really fucking torn between either just putting both TDU and Gaiman Gladiators as my 0-2, but I think that surely TDU wins something. I think they win at least one series at least, okay? Like, I know they made a decent run at fucking ACL or whatever, right? Over FlyQuest. You know what? I think, do we say that FlyQuest are bums? You know what? I think for the sake of this video, I think the delusion is getting to me, but I think we're going to say that TDU beat Gaiman Gladiators and that Sharks is going to beat FlyQuest, okay? Why the fuck not, okay? Just why the fuck not, exactly. Yeah. And then round 4, okay? Round 4. I'm just making sure that this is all in the graphic. Okay, round 4, we have MIBR versus Big. I'm going to say that MIBR probably have the edge on this one. I think they're going to win it out. Over Big. Big might be able to out-tactic them, but I think that MIBR probably have just slightly stronger pieces than Big do. Oh, but they have Blame F, though. Of course, they have Blame F. But I feel like they're still going to get upset in, like, the best of 1, I think. But, like, in the best of 3, they do have Blame F, though. But against Klim and Asani, I think that Big will still make it, essentially, but I think it's probably going to be in the 2-2 bracket. So we're going to say that MIBR probably take it. Just because, you know, that is, I think they just have a little bit more firepower than Big do to win this. Bet Boom versus Liquid. Honestly, this one could go either way. I don't think Chewy locks the fucking, I don't know, that team just looks like a fucking travesty. Okay, they're just fucking a travesty. So we're going to say that Bet Boom should be winning this. If they do not beat Liquid, they're bums, okay? That's all I'm saying, though. If they do not beat Liquid, they're bums. They don't deserve it. And then Tyloo versus Sinners. I mean, this is kind of hard because Sinners is like an unknown quantity, kind of, while Tyloo is could be studied much better. But I'm feeling the G Masterclass, okay? I'm feeling the G Masterclass right here. That's what my delusion man is saying. Linvision versus TDU. We're gonna say Linvision. Okay, I think Linvision. I think they even beat TDU. Hold on, let's just double. Yeah, right here. Actually, Linvision beat TDU. Right, that should go Linvision all the way to Linvision. Okay, Heroic versus M80. Right, Heroic could be playing better, but I think that M80 on paper should have the better pieces, and then Sharks should. NRG, honestly, I will say that they should be beating Sharks. All right, NRG, if you do not beat Sharks, you're bums. Okay, that's my opinion. If you do not beat fucking Sharks, just rebuild. Just rebuild at that point, NRG. If you do not beat Sharks, just rebuild. Just start the rebuild right there, then and there. And then this is gonna leave us to round 5, right? The final bracket for the stage 1, and I think, yep, this is a perfect North America versus North America fight, right? Liquid versus NRG. And I think even as sad as it's going to be, Liquid is probably going to make it to the next stage. I think that the pieces on Liquid are slightly stronger. If there's any point, NRG could prove that they could do it right here and now, but I don't think that this will be the time. Okay? Sinners versus Linvision. Ooh, it's going to be another case. China has to prevail though. And I don't know. It's really hard to say with Sinners. I think like they will do well, but I think they're going to be the one struck with a 2-3 curse, like the 2-0 to 2-3 curse. That's just my opinion, basically. And maybe it's because I'm biased for Chinese teams, but I'm going to say that Sinners are going to be fucking cursed and they're going to lose out on that. And then finally, Big versus M80. Now on paper, you would say Big, but I think at this point, right, the loss to Liquid at the start will be the beginning of the downfall for Big. And I just think that M80 will have a slightly stronger game plan to negate Blame F, basically. I want to say that Big are going to make it through, but I honestly think that this, like, I think my delusionment is telling me that M80 is going to beat Big, right? I think it's going to be a tough back and forth match. And, you know, I think M80 are going to definitely be on like the losing side a little bit as well. It will be tough. This match will be tough. Big versus M80. And I think my mind is telling me that M80 will have like this miracle Cinderella run and they will beat Big to make it into stage 2. Let's lock in our picks right now. Okay. So we said Bait, Heroic, Bet Boom, M80, Tyloo, Linvision, Liquid, and MIBR. And then for our down, we're going to say FlyQuest, and we are going to say Gaiman, Gladiators. So there you go. I'm not going to edit this. Fuck it. These are our picks. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully you guys can understand where I'm coming from with this. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.